Hello and welcome to IMDb's Worst 100.
Today we're looking at number 90, I Accuse My Parents.
I speak to parents everywhere when I say that if in the pursuit of your own pleasures and occupations you neglect your children, realize now before it is too late, this might have been your boy.
Yes, I accuse my parents. The perfect excuse for getting out of anything. Intrigued? Well, let's get straight into the video.
Like the video,
Asshole.
subscribe,
Asshole.
So it starts off in a courtroom with a boy called Jimmy, who's about 18 years old, and it basically starts with him saying,
I accuse my parents.
so obviously we're on tenterhooks
Yeah.
and wondering why. And so then it goes into a flashback of the events before the courtroom. It goes back to when he's at school and he's won an essay competition with an essay where he said how amazing his parents are. So then he goes home and you find out his parents aren't that amazing. They're really drunk and arguing and they basically don't care about him at all.
No.
I won the essay contest and the principal said...
I'll say, that's fine. Here's $5. Go out and celebrate.
He invites his mum along the next day for the ceremony for his essay and she turns up late, drunk, and he's humiliated.
She's drunk.
He meets Kitty, who is the love interest in this story. He then goes to the nightclub where she works as a singer. There he meets Blake, who is obsessed with Kitty. He's a very rich gangster man. And he doesn't like Jimmy because he can see there's like a bit of a thing between the two. And he also sees how naive and stupid Jimmy is, so thinks he's perfect to work for me.
Look, Charlie, lay off.
I'm only trying to help him.
I know other people you've helped and they all end up...
I can use the kid.
Kitty tells Jimmy not to work for him, but he does anyway because he wants to get money to take her out. The jobs sort of include delivering mysterious packages that he doesn't really question what's in them or why he's getting so much money.
Yeah, I'm sure that's fine, just picking up a random package in the middle of the night.
The jobs start to get a bit more sinister, and at this point Jimmy's like, oh my god, I can't do this. And so he goes to confront Blake. Blake's not having any of it. He says, no, you're going to carry on working for me. He then overhears a conversation that Jimmy has with Kitty on the phone in the office because he sort of picks up the other phone, listening in. He's furious. He goes over to Kitty and tells her to break up with him.
Yeah, but look what...
Oh, you poor chump. Did you think for 1 minute that I loved you or that I wanted to marry you?
And at this point he thinks, right, everything's terrible. So he then runs away to somewhere. He goes into a burger restaurant. The loveliest man in the world offers him free food. And when he sees that Jimmy has a gun in his pocket, says, no, you don't want to do this. He obviously realises he's going to try and rob him. You can come and stay with me for free and I'll give you a job.
Want a job? Sure, I want a job. $15 a week. Your food and lodgings.
That's the classic reaction to getting robbed at gunpoint, isn't it? Have a job!
So after who knows how much amount of time, Jimmy says to him, I want to go back and I want to tell the police about Blake. They go back. Before they go to the police, he goes to see Kitty and they make up.
Thank God.
Yeah. They go to Blake and then a fight breaks out, which Blake tries to shoot Jimmy. But then Jimmy grabs the gun and accidentally kills Blake. And then we're back to the courtroom. So obviously he's just told the story to everyone. Again, he says, I accuse my parents. They're rubbish. It's their fault. In which the court seems to think that's liable.
Yeah.
And says, well, okay, you can go on probation for 2 years instead of going to prison. And everyone cheers and is really happy at the end, including the parents who have just been dissed. And that's the story. The judge then... has a lovely message for all parents to be nice to your kids, otherwise that'll happen to them.
Yeah, way to pass the buck, Jimmy.
What did you think of the moral message learned at the end of the film?
I mean, come on. Times have changed. Can you imagine if in a courtroom you said, oh, I shot some guy, but actually it was because my parents weren't very attentive, so it's their fault? And the judge is just like, yeah, I'll allow that.
It was a very weird message. I think it would have made more sense if his parents were the one making him deliver the packages or something. That would make sense, because obviously that's their fault, because they're sort of taking advantage of their child to do that. But they really had very little / nothing to do with that situation.
That's completely hits the nail on the head there, because as you were explaining the plot, I mean, you had to sort of go into the essay writing competition, which on the surface doesn't feel like it's got much to do with the overall plot, and that's because it actually doesn't. But that's the only thing that really his parents mess up for him. Like you say, his main motivation, he fancies that girl and he just wants to get money to impress her. Yeah. That's his main motivation. It's nothing to do with his parents. Yeah. You know, he got into dodgy stuff, and that's his problem. Yeah. And then he's just like, also he looks about 30. I mean, I don't know.
He's definitely not a child, is he?
He's like, I blame my parents. And the judge not only allows that, judges don't just get to make up the law, you know. Yeah. That's not how it works. But also, a man has died. Where's justice for his... I mean, he was a crook. But still. Come on. Justice for Blake. That's what I say.
I don't think that'll be trending on Twitter.
Is Jimmy too stupid to be likable?
No, I really liked him. So naive and so innocent. But it just radiated from him in such a manner that I couldn't help be completely charmed by it.
He's a simple lad, isn't he? If you take him on face value, then you've got to assume that he really didn't realise that he was joining a criminal gang, even though it's incredibly obvious.
You can keep the rest of it.
Thanks.
By the way, I'd rather you wouldn't say anything to anyone about working for me.
I think he was wonderful. I couldn't help but be completely charmed by his performance. What did you think?
I mean, he wasn't bad company. I did quite like him. It's pretty much on the borderline, though, for me, of he's almost too stupid, too poor at making decisions to be sympathetic.
I think it was also what I found really sweet was just how much he wanted his parents to like him.
Yeah.
It was really he just sort of wanted attention. They were just like, oh, go away.
Yeah, he really liked his parents, didn't he? And he really
wanted their approval.
He kind of really liked everyone. He'd latch on to pretty much anyone who gave him the time of day in this film.
Yeah.
So, overall, you liked him?
I did. Why do you think this film is in the bottom 100 films on IMDb?
There's something I've started to notice, I'm sure you have as well, is that there's quite a few films on the bottom 100 list which don't feel that awful. To get into the bottom 100 list, it's not just about being the worst rated film, it's also a qualifying number of reviews, isn't there?
Yeah, much
so. Enough people have got to have seen it and reviewed it, so that kind of cuts out quite a lot of films. I mean, we've seen some pretty terrible films that are probably worse.
The Christmas Tree is not on our list, I don't think.
What films have enough reviews but are also bad enough to qualify? You know, quite a lot of them are pretty terrible, as we've seen. Quite a few of these ones, particularly the older ones, I think they're all coming from the Mystery Science Theatre viewers. We've never actually really watched Mystery Science Theatre, but we've become really aware of this TV show because quite a lot of the films that we've reviewed in this list have been reviewed by them. And so, for example, Time Chasers was another one. Yeah. I'm pretty sure The Bat People was. Yeah. They've obviously given these films notoriety. Yeah. And I think that's what's put them in the list. I mean, this film, it's not great. It's not, awful. There's definitely worse films, aren't there? Yeah, I completely agree with you that's why. Because to me, it seems quite harsh. There's nothing I'd say is, stand out awful about it, except maybe the message at the end is crazy. Yeah. I wouldn't put it on the same level as Date Movie or anything like that. It's just been brought into the limelight a bit more. Unfairly. Let's bring back some love for this pointless movie that you really don't need to see. Can we just say how great it is when you go down the list or you pick out the next film and you see 1 hour, 8 minute runtime? That is that is what we want to see. 1 hour, yeah.
More of that,
beautiful. Do you think that the choices that the people make in this film are very realistic? The first example of someone to use is the man at the diner, because he's so nice, so unbelievably forgiving and just happy to give him a chance to redeem himself after, seeing a gun, thinking he's going to shoot him. I wouldn't want to give someone a house or a job after that, to be honest. And then he sort of really cares about Jimmy going to the police and sorting everything out.
maybe that's just of the times, meant to show about being kind to people and giving people a chance and looking after each other.
But it does seem like the film is stepping in and being like, this is the moral thing to do, rather than showing what an actual person would do if someone tried to rob them with a gun.
Yeah.
I mean, that could have easily backfired. We know that Jimmy's a nice, lovely lad, you know, he's just misunderstood. But let's face it, the majority of people that come into your diner with a gun to rob you are not going to be nice people. And giving them a job and letting them live with you, the most likely thing that's going to happen is you're going to get robbed.
Yeah.
Possibly shot. It just happens to work out for that character, but
Yeah.
I feel like it's quite a risky moral message.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm too cynical and jaded.
Maybe. It is for morals though, isn't it? It's just showing the good way, how to be sort of thing, isn't it? I mean, I thought the parents were hilarious. They were just drunk and shouting at each other, just like, nah, I'm not going to see you, Jimmy, we're going to a party.
You can't go to the beach tonight.
Later.
Well, I guess you forgot. Tomorrow's my birthday.
Oh, that's right, Jim. Well, here's $20. Go out and have a party with your old friends.
I feel like the mum was a bit of a sort of prototype Bridget Jones, you know? That was quite a Bridget Jones moment. She arrives to the thing pissed. Could have spun that as a more comedic moment rather than everyone's pointing at her like, oh, that's so disgraceful.
So embarrassing for Jimmy.
Poor Jimmy.
Yeah.
She should have owned it. She'd have been like, yeah, I'm drunk, and what?
Am I late? When's the meeting start? Come on.
Do you think this is so bad it's good, and would you recommend it?
The first thing that it does do is that it's very short. And
Yeah.
with a so bad that's good film, that's always a good sign. I wouldn't say it's got any particularly laugh out loud moments. It's mildly amusing and the story's okay. I don't think it's so bad it's good. I think it's just a slightly odd of its time film.
Yeah. I actually enjoyed this quite a lot.
Really?
And not in a... I did actually quite like it. But again, I don't think I liked it because necessarily it was like hilariously bad. I think I just enjoyed it. I thought it kind of, yeah, I think this would be so perfect if you're a bit hungover or you're sick. You just plop this on for an hour. And it's just quite innocent. It made me laugh as well. I do remember finding it funny in bits. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone though, because I'd just be like, why are you recommending me this? You know. But I actually was rather entertained by it the whole time.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I don't have like a hugely strong opinion on it, but I did like it. I enjoyed it the whole way.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Cool.
Not a recommendation, but
100% recommendation from Emma, specifically Emma. Anytime I get into any kind of trouble, though, I'm going to try and pull that. It's like, oh, I crashed my car. I accuse my parents.
I accuse my parents.
that's another one done, and we're going to be going into the 80s next. Oh my god, we're going to be hitting 89.
Yes, we have got a tenth of the way through, and it's only taken about 6 months. So get strapped in for 5 years. Before you leave us, please remember to like the video and subscribe if you haven't subscribed, because that will really help us, and hopefully we can get through the whole list with your support. We need your support.
Remember to share it around as well, like chocolates. I hope you had a good Christmas, and we're probably, by the time this is done, we'll be in the new year, so Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year 2017.
And we've got lots planned for the channel this year, so join us.
Until next time.
Bye!